Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Con Call. First, we'll start with technical update. Yesterday, if we see NIFTY opened after 2 days of selling on a gap down of 145 points. But if you see that gap down was filled within like 15 minutes and we were above 17,400 levels. And this is on the 10 p.m. and that is 7,438 levels also. And later on, we started going to build up and move towards 17,500. But if you see during the session, the NIFTY was more volatile near 17,500 zone. It tested near about two times 17,400 levels, but in the last second half or the last hour, if you see, market gained strength to move towards 17,600, but it posted a close below 17,600 levels. And if you see, this is just a normal bounce back after 2 days of sharp selling. So we should consider this as a bounce back only, and we should exit longs if we get to move higher. And because still the trend overall is weak, and we should get a healthy declines to further re-entry of long. And technically, if you see the range is between 17,300 to 18,000, this should be the ideal range for that. On the sectoral front, if we see the mostly it was a bounce back buying in the majority sector, but Nifty IT was a laggard. It closed in the red with a loss of 1.77%. Nifty PSU banks was looking very strong and active, and Nifty autos were also very strong over there. On the Bank Nifty also mimicked like Nifty only opened on a negative note, made a low near about 38,000 levels, 37,950 to be precise, and posted a sharp bounce back. But Bank Nifty had technically, if you see, outperformed Nifty. It was managed to fill the down gap which it created on Monday and posted a close near to those levels, that is near 38,700 levels. So ideally, if we see the trading range for Bank Nifty is now 38,000 to 40,000 levels. And one more point to note that the crude is now also moving above 98 levels, and it can also move to technically it is looking strong and it can move towards 102 levels, so it would not be very comfortable for Indian indices. So that should be also kept in mind. And overall, if we see, then PSU Bank also remains strong in that. SBI Bank, Can Bank, and Bank of Baroda could outperform in that pack. On the derivative front, if we see, the Nifty had seen a long built up to the tune of 2.4%, and that is addition of 0.33 million shares. And the total advance decline ratio was also turned to be positive, that is 159 stocks on the gaining side and 37 stocks on the losing side. PCROA also saw an uptick to the close at 0.98 versus 0.79. On the options front, if we see them in the put options for this expiry, 17,400 and 17,500 are acting as a major support over there. And with the addition of 2.83 million shares and 2.46 million shares. While on the call side, if we see, then there were majorly it was unwinding of the calls, and 7,900 saw a little bit of addition, that is 1.19 million shares. On the Bank Nifty front also, if you see, that was a minor short covering in that is of 1% tune of 25,000 shares, and total otherwise signed at 28.83. So rollover is now almost same like previous month only. Nifty, the rollover is at 49%. In the previous one also it was 49. The Bank Nifty rollover is little bit less. It was 43% in the previous one, and this one is 41%. So that would be from derivative side. On the long short ratio, if you see, then yesterday FIs added more shorts in the shorts and to the tune of 2021 contracts. So we are net short by 30,95 contracts. The long short ratio also stand at 49%. On the report fall of our friend, if you see, we had given buy in SBI, that is in the range of 515 to 521 with the stop loss of 507.5 and the target of 539. But that over to Bhavesh sir. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. So, starting with Ramco Systems. So, Ramco System has announced that it has won a deal from freight specialist in Australia. So, as a part of this deal, Ramco will implement its ERP software, which will help automate its operation. So, but the deal size is not known. It is positive for Ramco, but we do not have formal coverage on this stock as of now. Secondly, Adani Group's media arm is likely to acquire 29% stake in NDTV and has made an open offer to acquire another 26% at rupees 294 per share. However, NDTV founders claim that this acquisition was already executed and without any input. So this is like an kind of hostile takeover drive from Adani Group. So we need to see how this goes along. Then on HDFC Bank, so there is the Department of Water Resources of Government of Punjab has sent a notice, an office memo to all engineers executives to close all accounts with HDFC Bank because they say that the HDFC Bank never cooperates with the government directives, whatever they say. So this is like a kind of very small negative, but it will not have any major impact on the stock. Then on crude steel, so world crude steel production fell by 6.5% YOY in July to 149 million tons. So whenever there is a fall in commodities, it is generally positive for the sector. But this is a global news and not related to India. And also until this export duty goes off, we will have a domestic kind of oversupply. So there will be short-term movements up and down, but until duty overhang goes away, we will not see very meaningful impact on stock prices of metal companies. So we are as of now neutral, and only stock we like is Tata Steel, and that too at not these levels. If it falls around 90 odd level, then it becomes very attractive. So that's it from me. Over to you, Prabhakar sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Further updates from my side. NTPC will raise 2,000 crore through issuance of NCD, non-convertible debentures, on private placement basis at coupon price of 7.44% per annum with door-to-door maturity of 10 years. The proceed will be utilized for inter alia funding of capital expenditure, refinancing existing loans, and other general corporate purpose according to the regulatory filing. So next update on HPCL. HPCL as a part of its move towards increasing green energy mix, company has announced cow dung to compressed biogas project at Sanshore in Rajasthan. This is the oil major's first project under the West to Energy portfolio, and the plant is proposed to utilize 100 tons per day of cow dung to produce a biogas, which can be used as a automotive fuel. So this is a positive development. Next update, Tata Motors. Tata Motors has signed a power purchase agreement, that is PPA, with Tata Power to develop 7.25 MWP on-site solar project at its commercial vehicle manufacturing facility. The project will be significant move to increase the renewable energy portfolio at its manufacturing facility. So now with this project, on-site solar power plant capacity of Tata Motors Jamshedpur facility will reach 14 MWP. So next update on Chennai Petroleum Corporation. Company has decided to form a joint venture company along with Indian Oil Corporation and other said equity investor for implementing a 9 MMTPA refinery project at Karvi Basin Refinery, which estimated cost 31,580 crore. It has received board approval for the equity investment up to 2,517 crore in the joint venture. Next update on Kalpataru Power Transmission will construct 220 kV, that is kilowatt direct current single zebra transmission line for 210 MW megawatt Luri hydroelectric project stage 1. The next update on NHPC, company signed an initial pact with Bharat Electronics Limited, that is BEL, to set up a large capacity solar equipment manufacturing facility. So that's it from my end. Now I will hand over to Prabhakar sir for further research update. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sritija. Good morning, team. Yesterday in the evening meeting, few queries on Hindustan food was raised. I've sent a mailer. Now my team has worked on Hindustan food. They have about 11 units spread across multiple states. Now last year their revenue was 2,040 crores and gross margin was 13%. EBITDA margin was 6%. Total, the company is a very old company. Now they first it was incorporated in 1983-84. And they have come a long way. At one point of time, they were manufacturing Farex. It was a baby, kids powder, milk powder. So they have enough unit. So I've sent more details on it. And they many private labels they manufacture for Hindustan Unilever, Reliance, Marico, ITC. For many companies they do. So now I think over a period of time it might do very good. The company target is 4,000 crores revenue by FY25. So, whatever we could collect, we have sent it by mail. Maybe after the market opens, the mail will be sent to you. Apple plans to manufacture iPhone 14 in India. It will be in next 2 months. It will be launched. It will be launched after China launch, which is again positive for India. It generates a lot of jobs. Commerce Secretary has said export to be around 470 to 480 billion dollars in FY23. Last year it was 400 billion dollars. Now, which is almost 18 to 20% higher. Whether this can be achievable is we need to wait and watch, because there are taxes on few export. One is in refined petrol and diesel, and even on steel and iron ore we have some export duty that will have an impact for our exports. Hindalco has said that it has earmarked $8 billion for capex over the next 5 years. Now, this was said by Mr. Birla in the AGM, Aditya Birla in the AGM. So I think Hindalco, any correction would be an opportunity to buy, but it is not a short-term stock. RBI governor yesterday was in media. He said the inflation is coming down, and he is very confident that it would come to a level where things can be positive. NHPC on Tuesday has signed a pact with BEL to set up a large capacity solar equipment manufacturing facility. So the full detail is not available. It has not been loaded in the exchange. It is a media report. NHPC has 7,071 megawatt of power generation with 24 power stations. SpiceJet is exploring stake sale to rise 2,000 crores. Says CMD Ajay Singh. SpiceJet has been making losses for the last 4 years. So I think turnaround will be difficult. If you are holding SpiceJet, any rally should be used to just exit. Yesterday, I got some data on semiconductor. The data I got is because there is a company called PSMC, which is looking at investing in India. So that time in that article, the article has been posted in Telegram channel, in our WhatsApp channel also. Now it says that the total semiconductor market is $107 billion, of which TSMC has 53% market share. TMSC is a Taiwan-based company, and Taiwan controls almost 64% market share. So that is why Taiwan is so important in scheme of things. The turnover can be very low, but it holds the majority stake. But very soon this domination will go. But many Taiwan companies are looking at India to manufacture here. So that can be something to look upon. SBI economic review came. They said GDP growth in Q1 FY23 would be 15.7%, which is lower than RBI 16.2% GDP growth. For the full year, SBI says it will be 7.5%, whereas RBI says 7.2%. If we get a better growth, it is very positive. Shell India and Holium to join hands for green hydrogen project. Holium is India's only manufacturer of electrolysis using electricity, hydrogen plant. It is in Bengaluru. So Shell is having a tie-up. It is a US-based company. So I think this is something positive. ET now yesterday reported that MCA, which is Ministry of Corporate Affairs, now would approve demerger of NMDC. NMDC demerger is something we are playing for a very long time. The demerger would be a very value accretive process. On 25th August, they say the demerger approval might come, which is tomorrow. If it happens, then the stock, yesterday itself, the stock started to rally. And in that report, it says Deepam would sell the stake of the steel company after that. And NMDC steel capacity is 3.1 million ton. So this is very positive. I think for an investor, NMDC demerger is a value accretive process. Yesterday in our evening meeting, people asked about Muthoot Finance. So I've done some study on gold finance. Gold finance stock, Manappuram and Muthoot, these were the two major players. They are losing their incremental business to banks. And this was said by Manappuram MD in a CNBC interview also. Now the point is, 1 lakh and above loans, banks are ready to lend at a lower interest rate. So what has happened is, NIM, which was 15% for Manappuram and Muthoot, today stands at 10%. So there is a huge fall in the net interest margin, and they are not able to grow. If you see quarter-on-quarter basis, Muthoot degrew by 6%, and Manappuram it was flat. So you are not able to disperse bigger ticket size of loan. So this is why Manappuram and Muthoot have corrected almost 36% for this year. Year till date, they are giving negative returns, whereas your other financials like bank and NBFC have given positive returns. So gold finance is a avoid from us. We even do not like housing finance because there also bank is a competitor. Bank likes to lend where there is enough security. So the business model of banks has changed. That is where the drawback comes. With that, over to you, Brijesh.
अभी हम ये कॉल एक बार हिंदी में कर लेते हैं। तो टू स्टार्ट विद हम हिंदुस्तान फूड्स की से स्टार्ट करते हैं। इसमें जो कॉल क्वेरी थी उसमें हमने आज हम मेल के थ्रू इसको रिवर्ट करेंगे। इसमें ओवरऑल लॉन्ग टर्म के हिसाब से ये कंपनी काफी अच्छा है। तो अगर इसमें किसी को इन्वेस्टर रहना है तो रह सकते हैं। ये सर का व्यू है। और सेकेंडली अभी जैसे सर ने बताया मुथूट और मनप्पुरम में जो जिस हिसाब से हम डिक्लाइन देख रहे हैं उनके बिजनेसेस इतने अच्छी तरह से ग्रो नहीं करे क्योंकि उनके कॉम्पिटिशन में बैंक्स है जो उनसे बेहतर रेट्स में वो लैंड कर रहे हैं। तो उनके क्वार्टर एंड क्वार्टर्स के जो रिजल्ट्स है आप दोनों मनप्पुरम और मुथूट का देखोगे तो वो नीचे की तरफ आ रहा है। मुथूट -6% है और मनप्पुरम फ्लैट है। तो बेसिकली हो क्या रहा है कि इनके कॉम्पिटिशन में बैंक आ चुके हैं तो जिस वजह से इनके मार्जिन्स और इनके प्रॉफिट्स कम हो रहे हैं तो इनके लॉन्ग टर्म में इनको अफेक्ट हो रहा है और यही रीजन है ये स्टॉक्स करेक्ट हो रहे हैं। इसी के चलते हाउसिंग फाइनेंस के भी जो स्टॉक्स है उसमें भी प्राइवेट बैंक्स वगैरह कॉम्पिटिशन्स में है जो काफी एग्रेसिव रेट्स पे लो रेट्स पे लैंड कर रहे हैं। तो हाउसिंग फाइनेंस के स्टॉक्स पे भी काफी प्रेशर है। तो इसमें अगर आप लॉन्ग टर्म वगैरह देखते हो तो थोड़ा सा प्रेशर रहेगा। तो फिलहाल के लिए अवॉइड है, इसमें हम रिकमेंडेशंस नहीं कर रहे। एप्पल ने ये बताया कि वो इंडिया आईफोन 14 इंडिया में वो उसका सेटअप लॉन्च करेगा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के, जो अगले 2 महीने के बाद यहाँ पे सेल होगा। तो ये जॉब क्रिएशन होगा, तो विच इज अ पॉजिटिव साइड। हिंडाल्को में भी वो एक न्यूज़ है कि अगर करेक्शन में हिंडाल्को अगर एक्यूमुलेट कर सकते हैं तो हमें करना चाहिए क्योंकि लॉन्ग टर्म के हिसाब से हिंडाल्को काफी अच्छा और पॉजिटिव रहेगा। स्पाइस जेट के ऊपर एक न्यूज़ है जहाँ पे उसके सेल मार्जिन्स वगैरह काफी अच्छे नहीं है। वो शायद वो कुछ सेल के भी बातचीत चल रही है। स्पाइस जेट के स्टॉक्स के ऊपर हमारा एग्जिट ऑन बाउंस वाला व्यू रहेगा। तो इसमें अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है तो हमको एग्जिट करना चाहिए। इसके बाद एक न्यूज़ एनटीपीसी के ऊपर है। एनटीपीसी बता रहा है कि वो 2000 करोड़ नॉन कन्वर्टेबल डिवेंचर्स के थ्रू वो ये रेज करेगा। बेसिकली ये फंड्स को यूज करने वाला है कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर और एग्जिस्टिंग लोन्स को रिस्ट्रक्चर करने के लिए। एचपीसीएल के ऊपर एक न्यूज़ है। एचपीसीएल ने बताया कि वो ग्रीन एनर्जी मिक्स की तरफ वो बढ़ेगा और वो ये प्रोजेक्ट वो करने वाला है राजस्थान में, जहाँ पे वो काउडंग जो गोबर होता है उसको यूज करके वो बायोगैस बनाने वाला है और ये बायोगैस को ऑटोमेटिक फ्यूल के लिए यूज करने वाला है, जो एक पॉजिटिव न्यूज होगा एचपीसीएल के लिए। अगला न्यूज़ है टाटा मोटर्स के ऊपर। टाटा मोटर्स ने एक पावर परचेज एग्रीमेंट साइन किया टाटा पावर के साथ। ये वो प्रोजेक्ट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लिए होगा, जो उसके जो ऑन साइट सोलार प्लांट है जमशेदपुर, ये वहाँ पर वो यूज करेगा। जो उसके बाद एक अपडेट है चेन्नई पेट्रोलियम कॉर्पोरेशन के ऊपर। उन्होंने जॉइंट वेंचर किया है आईओसी और कुछ इक्विटी इन्वेस्टर के साथ, जो 9 मेगा MMTP रिफाइनरी प्रोजेक्ट जो कावेरी में जो प्रोजेक्ट है वहाँ पे उसमें इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए। उसका एस्टिमेट कॉस्ट कुछ 31,580 करोड़ है, और जो बोर्ड की तरफ से अप्रूवल 2570 करोड़ का अप्रूवल बोर्ड की तरफ से मिल चुका है। और एक अपडेट है रैमको सिस्टम्स के ऊपर। रैमको सिस्टम को ये जो फ्रेट स्पेशलिटी कंपनी जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, वहाँ से उनको एक ऑर्डर्स मिले। ऑर्डर्स का जो डील कितने की है ये नहीं पता चला, बट ये जो कंपनी है लीडिंग प्लेयर है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में। तो बेसिकली ये पॉजिटिव डेवलपमेंट है। रैमको के हमारे कवरेज में नहीं है, बट ये न्यूज़ पॉजिटिव रहेगा और रैमको सिस्टम्स के लिए। अडानी ग्रुप ने ये कल मीडिया में बताया कि वो 29.18% स्टेक लेगा एनडीटीवी में, एंड वो और एक ऑफर कर रहा है 26% स्टेक के लिए 294 रुपीज पर शेयर। ये होलिस्टिक मैटर्स उन्होंने इंटरनली किया है, ये ज़्यादा अपडेट्स नहीं था इसके ऊपर, बट देन ये आगे डेवलपमेंट देखेंगे कि ये कैसे होगा करके। तो ये एक न्यूज़ अडानी ग्रुप के ऊपर है। HDFC बैंक बेसिकली कोलकाता इस डिवीजन में है, जो वहाँ के जो वाटर सप्लाई और वाटर डिपार्टमेंट के जो एम्प्लॉयज है वो काफी नाखुश है HDFC बैंक के सर्विस से। तो इंटरनली उन्होंने बताया, बोला गया है कि ये उनके जितने भी HDFC बैंक के अकाउंट है जो कोलकाता में, वो वाटर डिपार्टमेंट के रिलेटेड जितने अकाउंट है वो चाहते हैं कि वो बंद करे। तो ये ओवरऑल तो नेगेटिव नहीं है, बट सेंटीमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मे बी थोड़ा सा स्लाइट नेगेटिव हो सकता है, बट ओवरऑल इससे बैंक को नहीं फर्क गिरेगा। तो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम आवर साइड। थैंक यू।